salad dressings in a previous video, you should know without saying that we're going to leave the croutons alone. Then we could look at all the different salad dressings that you have here. You'd be better off just to have some oil with some salt and pepper in there. Are there some salad dressings you can have? Well, let's take a look. Let's look at the chunky blue cheese. Let's see. The ingredients. You have soybean oil as the first ingredient on this one. You have sugar. You have cornstarch. This is also not a good option. For your salad dressings, I would truly recommend having oil, vinegar, salt, and pepper for many of your dressings. Okay, everybody, this is one of the sections I wanted to get to, which is your peanut butter section. I absolutely love peanuts and peanut butter, as you all know from my previous videos, but I just want to show you why it is very important, once again, to read your labels. So let's take a look at Peter Pan's Simply Ground Peanut Butter. And you look at it, it says Simply Ground. It must be great. Creamy with a bit of crunch. That's all it has in it. But if we look at the ingredients, it says roasted peanuts, sugar is the second ingredient in here, and it also has vegetable oils in it. 6 grams of carbohydrates, 2 fiber. The nutritional facts I wouldn't be so worried about on this because we know peanuts are going to have carbs, but when it has sugar in here, and you said it was simply ground, so it's not just simply ground if it has sugar in it. Let's take a look at Jiffy down here. Jiffy brand peanut butter right here. Jiffy brand peanut butter, if I look at the ingredients, it says here sugar is one of the ingredients, so I wouldn't consume this either. Let's look at Jiffy's natural peanut butter. Jiffy's natural peanut butter, it says made from peanuts, sugar, and palm oil. Boom, that's something we don't want either. Right here, let's look at Smucker's natural peanut butter, creamy. What does it have in it? Ingredients, peanuts, and that's it. This here would be a better option for you to have because it only has one ingredient, which is peanuts. So that right there isn't too bad. And I think I do want to make something this week with peanut butter. Let's see, how many carbs does this have? 6 grams of carbs, but for 2 tablespoons. You know what, I don't think I'm going to make it, only because I know myself I have no control when it comes down to peanuts. So I'm just going to put this back. Now we have Smucker's organic chunky peanut. What does it have in it? Organic roasted peanuts and some salt. This is another great option for you right here. Right here we have Walmart's brand organic value. This here has 6 grams of carbs, but what are the ingredients? See, it has organic dried roasted peanuts, organic palm oil, organic unrefined cane sugar. That's not something we want. Just because something says it's organic doesn't mean that it does not contain sugar, because you have organic sugar. And that's just a little something I want to show you with the peanuts. So the best section, best 2 that I've seen here are the Smucker's Organic and the Smucker's Natural. Those are your best 2 options right there. But let's take a look at the honey, because I didn't look at Smucker's natural peanut butter with honey. You know this is going to have sugar in it. It has peanuts, sugar, and honey. So this is something we definitely do not want. So you want the natural peanut butter right here, as well as their organic chunky peanut butter. That's great. And it does have it, they carry in a larger jar. What size is that? 26 ounces for $4.42. It should go without saying that everything in this candy aisle is not for you. So we could just move right on down the road to the next one. It's the frozen section. Let's see what you can have in the frozen section, or is there anything you can have in the frozen section? Over here, we have bread. There's nothing over here for you. I don't care if it's whole wheat bread, white bread, or whatever kind of bread, you don't want it. Here, if we look at all of our frozen products, they're all covered in some sort of batter, so that is not something you want. All of these foods here are covered in batter. You do not want it. Hot Pockets has, oh my goodness. I just happened to see this, and you have to take a look at this. See that there? See that right there? Those are all the ingredients. And one thing stands out, maltodextrin, sunflower oil, palm oil, all these different things in this. Look at that. Look at that long laundry list of ingredients for this one box of Hot Pockets. That's garbage. You don't want to eat that. You put that back. Let's move further on down the aisle. You know you don't want any of these. Here you have Oreo Cheerios. That's not for you either. Chicken melts. You don't want that either. That's in some sort of bread. Who knows what they've melted inside. You don't want any of this. Nothing in this aisle can you have. Now, you see some meatballs here. The only thing with meatballs is a lot of people will put some sort of flour, or they will put some sort of bread, or they will put some sort of breading in their meatballs to hold it together. So I would stay away from that. Let's see. Nothing in here. There's nothing. All these foods, there's nothing in here for you. On this section, you have more bread, whole wheat bread, all this bread. There's nothing in here for you. You cannot have any sort of bread. And for those of you who do not believe me, if we were to look at the side here, see if I can hold this, if I can negotiate the two of these together. One slice of bread is 14 grams of carbohydrates, one slice. So you can't even make a full sandwich with this. So that's not something you want. Corn tortillas. It's corn. That alone tells you you don't want it. This right here says that there are 20 grams of carbs. Let me see. That there are 20 grams of carbs for 2 tortillas on this. This is not something you want. Okay, all of these foods, if we do a pan of all the different things in this freezer case, there is nothing here for you. Every single one of these foods has something in it that you cannot have, I guarantee you. So to show you this, I'm going to take you to something relatively simple. Here, we have a Salisbury steak from Marie Callender. Salisbury steak from Marie Callender. Let's see, there's 40 grams of carbohydrate in this one particular meal. This is definitely something we don't want. Look at the list of ingredients. See that whole see this whole panel? These are all the ingredients in here. I don't even need to look. I already know there's some sugar and some cornstarch. Matter of fact, it jumps right off. Modified cornstarch right there on the top. This is not something you want. It doesn't matter. Whatever is in a package, you do not want. Here is the corn. This here is a ribeye steak. As you can see with this ribeye steak, there's a lot of fat in this particular meat. This is the type of meat that you want to purchase. This is what we mean when we say high fat, moderate protein, very low carbohydrate. There's no carbs in here. There's a moderate amount of protein, but there's also a lot of fat. So if you wanted a steak, this would be a good price. Also, this steak is $9.98. So if you were to go to Wendy's, or if you went to Chick-fil-A, for example, you're going to spend either $10 to $15 on a meal. However, if you got this steak and cooked it with a side of green beans, this whole meal that you could have eaten for 2 to 3 days would cost you the same amount of money. And it doesn't have any more carbs. It doesn't have those carbs in it. It doesn't have sugar. And you know exactly what you put in your food. So this is something that you can purchase. This is bone-in short rib. This is beef short ribs. This particular short rib has a lot of fat in it, as well as protein. So if you want to have 1 or 2 ribs with a side of vegetable, this would be a good choice to have as well. This is $14.42. So that's not too bad, but it depends upon how many people that you have in your family. Here's another option. You have chuck pot roast. So if you want to make a pot roast, you have a lot of marbling of fat in here. This is another good choice. Just make sure whatever meat you get, it's not lean meat. We want meat that have more fat in it, because we want a high fat diet. Now, this is a very good section that we just come across. This is our sausage section. This is Johnsonville Italian sausage. It's sweet. But do we just want to take it at its word that it's just pork in here? What we want to do with this is we want to turn it over. And I don't know if you can see this, but here the ingredients are pork, water, corn syrup. So that's something that we don't want. It also has dextrose in it. Better if you want to lose weight, it would be better for you to just to have an ingredient such as this ketchup pot roast that you know is just pot roast. You put your seasonings on it that you know that does not have cornstarch or sugar in it, and cook it. That's a better choice to make as a meal versus having a sausage. Another option here they have pork Italian style meatballs. But these meatballs look good, right? But let's turn it over. Let's look at the ingredients on here. It says here that it has pork skim milk. Let's see, cellulose powder. It has starch in it. It has dextrose in it, and it also has corn syrup as well. So this is another dish that you may know. This is another item you also do not want. You can take your own meatballs and put your own seasonings in it with your own extras, such as pork, or if you wanted to put some mushrooms inside your meat, and it would be a much better option. So this is $5.54, and this is a very poor choice if you're talking about a ketogenic diet because of all the different ingredients that it has in it. When we're talking about pork, this is spare ribs. Can you have barbecue spare ribs? Absolutely, you can have spare ribs. Now, spare ribs, this is something that you know absolutely has no carbohydrates, nothing that you have to worry about what's in it, because we just know that it is a slab of pork spare ribs. This would be an excellent option for you because you could season this down, you could put some hickory smoke around in the oven, and you'd have some hickory smoked spare ribs. That would actually have no carbohydrates whatsoever. It would have your protein and your fats. This is an excellent option. Next here we have pork shoulder. This is another meat that you can have. This pork shoulder here is $8.06. And look at all the fat that you have in here. You can make meals for over a week off of this one roast for $8.06. How much is a Big Mac, large fry, and a large drink at McDonald's? You're going to spend more than $8 for that meal. And then I guarantee you in 3 to 4 hours you're going to be hungry again. If you like lamb, you can have lamb. Okay, this particular piece of lamb happens to be on sale. Is this lamb or is this pork? No, this is actually fresh pork chops. And this particular one is $2.78 for some boneless chops. This is all natural. It says no added ingredients or preservatives, no added steroids or hormones. So this is a great buy for you. And it says use or freeze by 10/23/2013. So this is something that they've had for a while, that if you freeze it'll be okay, but if not, you have to eat it by the 23rd, which is tomorrow, and you can get a couple of meals off of this as well. This here is a shoulder roast, and this is also a pork shoulder, and this is $10.64. And also it's the same thing, no added steroids or hormones, and it's $10.64. 2 people cannot eat at Wendy's or McDonald's for $10.64. So 2 adults, I should say. So this is a good choice for you. Here, this is bacon cheddar bratwurst patties. Well, this might look good, but let's see what's inside. In here, this is so small I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it has sugar in it, sodium phosphates in it, and it has dextrose in it. So this particular meat here, although it looks good, you think I'm having some bacon cheddar bratwurst, this bacon cheddar bratwurst actually has sugar as well as dextrose in it. So this is something that you don't want as well. You would be better off just sticking to meats that are just plain meat. For example, pork chops. If you want to have a nice thick pork chop, look at this pork chop. All the fat that's around this pork chop, and that's marbled within. This is an excellent choice for a meal. Now, if you're on a budget, that's why we're in Walmart, you can get a package such as this one. Save 20 cents per pound is $14.13. You can feed a family of 4 off of this for about 2 to 3 days. And this is a much better choice, and it's only $14.13. You cannot buy a meal at McDonald's for a family of 4 for $14.13. So that's a much better choice.